So welcome everyone. It is February the 7th, 2024, and we are still working with the universal law of unification unity and the seventh dimension with Albert Einstein and charity with St. Francis, although we're not going to spend too much time on charity tonight. It's mostly the law of unification, and we're going to go a bit into a channeling with Jesus actually and the inner child because this is so important. So,
Cool.
and it's just anchoring our mission of peace on earth. We really want to get to that inner child feeling peaceful and loved and cherished. The trauma therapy that I've been doing is focused on the inner child and the inner child being able to stand back and observe and just look with eyes of wisdom, which is what I was able to do today in the last session that I had. I could feel the child just watching, and it was
Cool.
brilliant. So it's time for our divine child to rise, and everyone standing for what's right, because children know what's right. Peace is what's right, love, balance, joy, all the basics. Okay. And Jesus, in this channeling that we're going to study a little bit, just a little farther along, he says, the essence of the Christ energy is to recognize the face of an innocent child behind all negative and disruptive behavior, and to first see our own innocence. And when you do any kind of meditation work where you're focusing on your inner child or therapy, it really can be quite miraculous. So here we are in the heart, in the Christ consciousness, understanding deeper and deeper understanding of the Christ consciousness, charity, love, and the law of unification. And you can see we've done all these chakras already: the root, the pubic, the sacral, the umbilical, the solar plexus, the halion, and the heart. And we're almost done the heart. Now, I wanted to do this quickly at the beginning because St. Francis talked about the 12 dimensions and this clock and doing it from the heart space, seeing the dimensions as circular and what he recommended. And I'm just going to ask you all to just close your eyes and sink down into your heart space and see this big round circle of green grass. And I'm going to guide you through the different dimensions, just giving you the basics of the give and the receive that's available from each dimension, and the gratitude piece as well. Because St. Francis said the key is to be in gratitude. So just anchor down into your heart, into the center of that green circle of grass. And we're going to go out to the edge like a clock and just to the first dimension. And here is where we receive ideas from the void for our sacred purpose, connected to the law of sacred purpose, this dimension. Here's a place to be in gratitude for the entire journey, this very, very long journey that we've been on, and a place to give compassion, humility, our service, be in that space of non-judgment of everything. And then come back to the middle and just be in gratitude. And then we're going to go to the 2 position on the clock. This is where we receive our intentions that we came with, in gratitude for the galactic technology, the internet, the second dimension of the internet. And here we give our service for the regeneration of Gaia. This is a communication dimension. And come back to the middle and out to the 3rd dimension. This is where we receive the higher realm balance. We also can receive money in this dimension. This is the understandings of as within, so without, as above, so below. We're in gratitude for free choice. And we can also give money in this dimension and service with courage, fortitude, and deep surrender. And back to the center, and then out to the 4th dimension. This is where we receive miracles, wonder, awe. Think Yofi dust, the magic of the 4th dimension, the fairies. in gratitude for our divinity, who we are, and it's a place to forgive all the old addiction to pain in the flow, the law of change. Just think of it flowing and embracing all that pain so it integrates, so it dissolves. And into the center and out to the fifth dimension. This is a place to receive joy for managing change, in gratitude for our divine authority, our divine will. And this is a place to give, forgive, embrace, integrate deeper emotional pain. So we manage change here. And back to the center and out to the sixth dimension. This is where we receive our DNA activations and upgrades in gratitude for our galactic family and prudence, the understandings of prudence, which is again that forgive, that quick apology when we feel ourselves out of alignment so that we come right into alignment. This is a place of love, being like a tree, the Buddha energy, being able to observe everything. And back to the center and to the seventh dimension. This is where we receive the Christ consciousness and gratitude for balance, unity. We give kindness, compassion, charity from a place of unification and unity. And into the center and out to the eighth dimension. This is where we receive self-love, self-worth. We know this deeply. This is our core responsibility in gratitude for transmutation, bringing all that old energy back to original purity. And again, we can forgive, use that prudence for quick apologies and bringing us into that perfect divine alignment and into the center and out to the ninth dimension. This is a place to receive completion of cycles, deeper surrender, in gratitude for communication with our guides, and the blues and the pinks of Lurion. We are giving deeper and deeper surrender in this dimension. And into the center and out to the 10th dimension. This is at the angelic realm of karmic dispensation, knowing everything is forgiven. We're at a place of no judgment. This is the throat chakra where we are giving hope and trust and faith with our communication, and also no judgment of anything through the throat chakra. And into the center and out to the 11th dimension. This is where we receive and attract our mastery and gratitude for elimination, which is really, really deep forgiveness, wisdom, giving harmony, beauty, truth of the I am, and understanding integration and repulsion on a deeper level. This is our mastery. And into the center, and then finally to the 12th dimension, where we receive the divine ecstasy in gratitude for our I am presence, completion and continuity, giving with grace and purity, peace, love, and joy. And then back into the center and just feel those dimensions all swirling around you, just knowing that we're here to give and to receive in each one. And the key, as St. Francis said, to be in gratitude. So that is the circle of one, the infinite circle of all. And it was a little exercise given to us by St. Francis. And it's just a really beautiful way to anchor in all the dimensions. Okay, so let's just jump into the law of unification, unity, unless, oh, Ken, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Mhm.
On number 11, I'm trying to remember what it was. You, uh,
It's all our mastery. The 11th dimension is our mastery.
I had a specific question about something you said. Oh, no, I don't know. I can't bring it back up.
Okay, that's the place of the law of attraction and repulsion and elimination. So elimination is very deep forgiveness of everything. And in the law, SK actually spins us counterclockwise right down to the heart, and anything that's not of love just completely dissolves because you're integrating it and embracing it with love, basically.
So you're spinning out of the heart and not the solar plexus?
Yeah, in the law of elimination, it's actually you're coming down through the third eye right down to the heart.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's lots of ways to use the spiraling energy. Um, whether it's spinning it out through the belly button or breathing it out through the solar plexus or bringing it down into the heart and everything just dissolving. Basically, it's love.
Hmm.
It's loving the pain. Just love it and it dissolves. And then the inner child, because we are source energy. And so everything dissolves in source, in love. Love is a dissolvent. So the more we love the pain and just, wow, what an experience, instead of holding it as a resentment, it dissolves. It can hold no power over you because it's now you've turned it into love. Yes, Darren.
So would the energy come down through the crown for the 12th dimension then?
The energy comes in and around and down, and yes, it does through the crown. Yeah. And just know that it's the crown is the 12th. The crown is the 12th. Yeah. So the energy can shoot up through the crown. It can come down through the crown. It, it moves. The energy moves, and you can feel it when I know that when I sit in meditation, I can feel the energy poof out the top of my head and come down and around me. I can feel it come right down through the whole center of my being, right down to the center of the planet. I mean, it moves in, through, around. The energy is all around us. And it spins spiraling around us. I feel it going both ways. I feel the mother spinning counterclockwise and the father spinning clockwise. Yeah. And then it's like toroidal. It's toroidal as well. It can go around and it can go up. It is all around us. Yes, Steve.
When I had my heart opening, it started out as an energy that was coming up through my feet, right? And I said, well, that can't be the Kundalini because that would start in my root chakra, right?
Mhm.
And later I asked Michael about it. He said, no, 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 no. The Kundalini's all over the place. It comes from outside into your feet, up, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was news to me. I'd never thought about that. But
Well, I think a lot of the information that we've had on planet hasn't been complete. And now we're receiving the complete and we're actually feeling it as well, so that we can even add to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting to be alive right now. Mhm. Okay, so now we're on to this is Susie asking a question in the law of unification unity. And she says, one question that may be in the thoughts of many is regarding those who just want to continue learning and having experience in lower dimensions. And I think what she's talking about, because all the dimensions are equal, not one is better than the other. But I think what she's talking about here is the old third, the belief systems of the old third, which is what we are cleaning up. Maybe we humans aren't ready for that information yet, but no one seems to know how it will come to be that each of us gets to move on to what we desire, as disparate as those desires may be. So will someone like my conservative right-wing brother who watches Fox News be rehabilitated? Or will he live out his life in a reality similar enough to this one that he won't notice a change? Will he also not notice the fact that I'm not part of his life anymore? Can you speak to that? No, Okay, so SK says, Raj says, I can speak to that. And as you know, I am rather a blunt master, although I do not really think of myself as a master, but as a keeper of the law. This is the free will zone, and that is wonderful. Oh, so SK can be more blunt because he's a keeper. That's interesting. I didn't see that before. Okay. There are two aspects to what you think of as the third dimension, and it is not simply about time and space and measurement, that's length. It is about the quality of free will and physicality. Okay, so the third dimension is connected to the orange sacral, the tummy. The solar plexus is the yellow one, and that's where our divine will. So he's talking about free will, but he's also talking about the third dimension. The mother has in her plan and in her wisdom always said that we will not interfere with free will. Now, that does not mean that even those who seem most enmeshed, shall we say, will not be given increasingly aha moments of divine inspiration and insight. Now, you are receiving them daily. They will receive them if they allow them. Okay. So lots of aha moments in examples are understanding that everything is forgiven, or hope, which is really getting how balanced the mother, the father, the one are within the physical form. And then I've got in gratitude we receive, forgive and receive. So just understanding the power of gratitude. So there's lots of aha moments that can come to us. Now, it's going to be for them a little bit different, like being shocked or tasered, or even in some situations hit by lightning. But in their soul design and soul desire, they have said yes. But there is a point at which, if that is the decision, then they will simply migrate to a different reality. Let me be very clear. That it is not part of the plan at this moment to create an alternative Gaia, because there is much discussion on your planet about parallel Earths or planetary systems. That is not the plan. These people will migrate transitions, shall we say. You will notice that many are dying, and they will very rapidly be relocated on a planet in another universe that has the illusion of continuing to be on Earth, as if they're going through a turnstile, but it will not be Earth. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't heard too much about that. So I've heard about people passing and then being, yes, Ken.
I have a question. I don't know. I was thinking about all the people that have already passed that aren't going to ascend. Do they also go to one of these places?
No, because from my understanding, say like my father is in a place that I can speak with him, he can speak with me, and they can ascend from that place.
Oh, okay.
Right, Steve? Yeah. Okay, you're on mute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So when
They
people,
can ascend from the other side.
yeah,
Even if they don't ascend immediately, say they ascend a year of our time span, they can still ascend.
yeah,
Goes on for them.
yeah, exactly. And Michael has often told us if somebody wants to come back because they're so excited about being here and being a part of the love because it's never been done before, you can rapidly turn around and come right back. I don't know how fast that is, like in terms of our years, but yeah, that's a possibility too. Yeah. Okay. And so Raj says there is a decision point. Archangel Michael yesterday has said that this is a time of decision and choices, and you're seeing that there is a crescendo effect. Think of it as music. There is a crescendo happening in this, what you think of as time and space. listen to the music and to the sound of the universe and the sound of your planet. It is reaching a crescendo, and that is the point of decision. So yeah, it is getting more chaotic here. And so, but that in a way is a good thing because it creates change. So, and not to worry, even Jesus talks about that a little, and when we go into his channeling. So are all equally welcome? Yes, because even those who have played the most dramatic, recalcitrant roles have done well in doing so, in eliminating that duality polarity. And so they are welcome. It is not judgment. It is not saints and sinners. It is all. So everyone's welcome. And our job is to get to that point where we are just standing back. And what I found with the inner child work is it's much easier to stand back. The inner child actually stands back and can just watch everything easily when the wounding has been addressed. It's harder when the wounding is still present. So Susie says, I've been thinking about this a lot lately in terms of being creator beings, that we're kind of growing up into those capabilities. And of course, wondering what actually is the point of all this. Will dark be eliminated forever, everywhere? And the answer that I got is no, because that's a requirement of creating the contrast that the group Abraham talks about, the contrast that we need as human beings to be able to set the environment in which we can learn, expand, get bigger, and get back to source. And Raj says, what you have done as a human race, and now I speak to you of millions and millions of years, is you have used the dark in terms of duality, polarity. So often you have said, this is dark, this is light. And you have grasped the concept that, first of all, what you think of as darkness and light are still all part of one. So when you use it for clarity, for this mission, for delineation, it is one thing, but the evolved, and might I say just for purposes of clarification, the higher dimensional beings, which you already are, align themselves with the choices for love, which you assume is light. Now, there are gradations. There have always been gradations. Think of it as material. Do you want the rough, nubbly wool because it has the texture and the stimulation and the warmth that you are seeking? Or do you wish a very fine, fine silk that is as clear as a wisp? Both have qualities that are desirable and that help you decide what it is you wish to pursue or to use for a certain situation. So when you think of darkness, the idea, the concept of darkness takes on different meanings. It helps you delineate, but your choice is to be in alignment with love. So it is a question of, does this element of shadow help me be in better alignment, clearer alignment, or does it not? So it makes more sense when we go into Jesus's channeling as well. And he says, so the judgment factor, this is good and this is bad, this is light, this is dark, this is good, this is evil, is gone because you are evolved beings and no longer need that juxtaposition of good and evil. You have eliminated and left behind what you in your third dimensional old way came to define as darkness. Is that clear? So the thing is, when you get to the place of non-judgment of experiences, then everything calms down inside. The inner child can relax and it feels safer. But it's when we hold on to resentment and fear and sorrow, we attract more of it. When you let that go and you come into the place of just loving all your experiences, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so now this channeling through with Jesus through Pamela Kribbe was amazing because it's all about the inner child and how to really embrace the inner child. So I just thought we'd put it here because he talks about the Christ consciousness as well. And that's what the seventh dimension is all about. So he says, "Dear friends, I am your brother Yeshua. I'm so happy to be here with you when I speak through a channel. I am a little bit closer to earth, to humanity, and I rejoice in being close to you. I see your shining hearts, and I would love to impress upon you the greatness and the beauty of who you are. I want to remind you that this greatness is not something far ahead or far away from you, not something you have to achieve through a lot of discipline. It is who you naturally are. It is a sad thing for me to see how you have become so estranged from simply being yourself. You have become used to continually judging and criticizing yourself. And especially when you are on a spiritual path, you have certain ideas in your mind about what you are supposed to become. But the spiritual life is really very simple. It is about being intimate and honest with yourself. Spirituality begins with the acceptance of who you are. If you have negative thoughts, difficult emotions, so be it. You think that to live from the heart, you have to rise above these dark things, but spiritual growth does not proceed by way of ascendancy. Truly spiritual people are also very humble people. They do not think highly of themselves in the sense that they feel they have transcended their darkness, but they do feel at ease with their darkness. They do not reject it, and this is when the magic happens. When you can look at your own pain without fear and with the eye of compassion. Just loving everything that you've been through. It makes a huge difference. When you look behind your negative behavior or habits, when you see what you see is a frightened child inside you. Yes, it does require strength and an open heart to face this child. However, the essence of the Christ energy is to recognize the face of an innocent child behind all negative and disruptive behavior. And for all of you, it is your challenge to first see your own innocence. When you criticize yourself or you try to push yourself in a certain direction, you think what you are doing is right. You go from the assumption that what you are now doing is wrong and that there is even something wrong with you. But when you do that, you are not proceeding from love. You are treating yourself with kindness, or you are not treating yourself with kindness. And in that way, you're always playing hide and seek with yourself. It's so funny because we play hide and seek with Amelia all the time. You want to move to the light, but the darkness will get in through the back door, so to say. You have to be at ease with all parts of yourself to truly gain freedom. And that's what I found in the trauma therapy. When you can face into the trauma and just see it for what it is, it just naturally integrates and it's part of you. And you've learned so much about yourself because of all the experiences you've had. So it becomes part of the love. And this is Albert. He says the seventh dimension is known as the dimension of the Christ consciousness. This is the state of being the heart and knowing of love. It is growth opportunity for compassion, kindness, selflessness, honoring, and love. When you anchor in this place of consciousness, you're fully capable of holding the vibrations, energies, lessons, understandings, and growth of all the 12 dimensions available to you on this planet. So really, it's just loving yourself so deeply in every experience you've ever had. So then Jesus goes on, he says, I would like to invite you to now connect with your inner child. So you can just close your eyes and I'll just read this. Imagine there is a child inside you who's been hiding there for a long time. Maybe the child does not show itself right away and you have to call it to invite it, but be open to it and allow this child to show you the darkest part that you still carry inside you. Maybe the child is crying or screaming, but it does not matter. Be its guide, its parent, and see if you can feel at ease with this child, if you can comfort it. There is always a reason for characteristics that you consider as dark. So hold the hand of this child and look into its eyes. When you do so, you will notice that this child has something precious to give to you. It has a gift for you, something that is important for you right now. Accept this gift and thank this child for it. Your inner work is to look into the darkest corners of your being and to invite the inner child to come out. This is what it means to go through the transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness. The heart is not battling the ego. The heart is all-inclusive. The heart reaches out to all corners of your being, and that is the true meaning of the Christ energy. What you do to yourself, the way you treat yourself, has an impact on the world around you. The compassion and the understanding you have for yourself will change your vibration, your energy, and that is the real meaning of being a light worker. It is an energy transmission much more than a passing along of information. And this is SK. He says all are equally welcome. Because even those who have played the most dramatic, recalcitrant roles have done well in doing so. Everyone is welcome. No judgment. It is all. And Jesus says, at this time, a lot of things are changing. A lot of energy is moving. And you can also see that at a global level. When this transition to the heart takes place, then a lot of darkness comes out of the hidden corners. So this is a kind of paradox in that it seems to get darker before it becomes lighter. But the key part of this process is that the darkness is allowed to come to the surface. It is important for all of you who observe this happening in the world to remain centered and calm, to not judge the outside darkness that you perceive, and to hold on to the wisdom and understanding you have gained through your own inner process. When you enter into judgment about the darkness you perceive in the world, then you tend to see the world as a kind of battlefield between light and dark. But the true power of a light worker, a pioneer of consciousness, is also to recognize the innocence and the face of a child in the darkness you perceive around you. But this does not mean that you simply allow everything to be and to happen. In your own life, you have to make decisions about what you do or not do, what you like and what you do not like. And you can do this from a deep inner feeling without judging. You can make very clear decisions from your heart without making judgments from your head. And if you manage to not slip into judgment, you will hold the energy of compassion and radiate it outward into the world. You have to remember that everything which is dark and everything which is hiding in a dark corner yearns for the light and is not happy in the dark. Just keep this in mind when you look around at the world. And that does not mean you have to save the world, but simply to hold steady your own light, your wisdom, your non-judgment. This is how you channel a new energy to earth, and what you will do specifically in your everyday life to express this new energy is different for every person. And he says, I would like to end by inviting you to connect more deeply with what is your individual way of expressing yourself. Simply imagine that you're holding a torch in your right hand. And this is so interesting that he says this, because a couple of days ago I woke up and it was like I was holding a torch in my hand. It was like he was like he'd given us this lesson in the higher realms, and I woke up with this torch and feel the energy of the flame of this light. Feel how on the one hand it is blazing and passionate, and on the other hand it is still and silent. This light springs from a feeling of joy. and of not wanting to struggle or do battle. It comes from deep inside you. And imagine that you are now filled with the light of this torch. This is the light of your soul, your origin. And remember how radiant it is, how full of joy it is, and how playful and imaginative. So let it flow through all the cells of your body. Enjoy it. To live from the heart is meant to be joyful. As you would connect with this light, ask yourself if there's anything you would like to do in your life or anything you already do, which is in alignment with this light. And it is okay to experiment with this in your everyday life. See what gives you the most joy and do not accept anything less. In the past, the voices of fear have kept you down, have disciplined you too much. Trust the voice of joy, the feeling of joy. And whenever you wonder, what should I be doing in my life? How do I make a difference? Then go with what gives you the most joy. And it may start with something simple, but the more you go with that flow, the larger it will become. And that is how you make a difference in the world. And he says, thank you for being who you are. I love that. So just if we're ever wondering, what are we supposed to be doing here? Just go with what you love. Yes, Ken.
Well, it's interesting, because of what's been going on with me in terms of my condition, it makes me feel like I'm in a holding pattern, that I don't really have much that I can do. So I'm trying to figure all this out, and I'm confused.
Okay, so the most important thing is to love what's going on with yourself.
Okay.
That
see
is
what you're
the
saying.
most important. And that when you're in that love, like embracing your condition. It's like when I was doing my therapy, I had to embrace on a really deep level some incredible pain. And in the embrace of it all just dissolved. And my inner child was able to feel safe. So embracing whatever you're going through and loving your inner child, helping your inner child see it as just an experience. It's a very joyful thing to do, actually, to embrace the experience that you're having.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Darren.
Wouldn't it also be helpful to do something that gives you a lot of joy as well?
Yeah, if that's what, like, okay, give us an example. What would you do? What would you do, Darren? What gives you a lot of joy?
Hiking in the mountains.
Okay, but you can't really do that when it's foggy and rainy, or do you?
No, I can't. No.
Okay, so what would you do if you can't go outside?
Listen to some beautiful music.
Okay, well, there you go. So it's very simple. Do you see what he's saying there, Ken?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. Okay, good. And Steve, you wanted to add something?
Were you talking about the creation formula where after doing your affirmation and invocation, you do action consistent with your request? Is that what you were talking about?
No,
Darren?
no, this was more just like holding a torch in your hand and just feeling the joy, just being the joy, just allowing the joy to infuse you.
No, I was really asking Darren if that was the nature of his question.
Oh, Darren.
Yeah. Is that the nature of your question, that you do an action consistent with your request as part of the creation formula?
Well, basically, my question is to do something that gives you a lot of joy, whatever your passion is, to do that to get into the joy.
Yeah, well, that when you, as part of the creation formula, when you finish making your invocation and asking for something, then they recommend that you take steps consistent with what you want to have happen. So it sounds like you weren't talking about that, but
Not really, but it's
No,
all connected. It's
Yeah.
all, yeah.
yeah, I wasn't talking about that really because I think that gets too mental. If you just jump into the joy, then you bypass all that.
you bet.
Mm,
You bet.
yeah, and even it's as simple as doing what Jesus says here, just holding a torch in your hand and feeling the light, like what we're missing here, we're very mental. What we're missing is a feeling. If you just hold that torch, in your imagination and bring that light into yourself, you'll feel that joy just blaze out through your whole body. It's amazing. Mhm. So getting into the feelings of these divine qualities can be, as you're trying to figure out why, what purpose, what's the next steps in your purpose, that's very purposeful for the planet. And it goes out to humanity. Rather than us sitting in kind of like a depressive state, wondering, actually take action and feel the qualities. It's amazing. Okay, so yes, Ken.
It almost feels like trying to think of the right word, but you reframe the what you're feeling. In other words, you go and choose another way of looking at it.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah, and the simplest thing is just love, really just love whatever you're going through.
Okay.
Yeah, just
All right.
yeah, just accept it. Accept your life the way it is, embrace it, and every experience that you've had, it's part of you. It's who you are. It's like what's made you who you are today. And everybody's here to be this beautiful light for the planet. And if we're operating from the wounded child who's still holding on to what this life is painful, it just creates more of it. Yeah. Which most of us are still operating from the wounded child without even realizing it. And I mean, there's levels to embracing the child, but I think it doesn't need to be difficult at all. And just go in and just like Jesus said, just he says that your inner work is to look into the darkest corners of your being and invite the inner child to come out. The heart is not battling the ego. The heart is all inclusive. So it's trauma therapy. It's just all about looking at it, what you've been through, and being able to love it for what it was. Like just see it, and it just dissolves. Yeah, Darren.
So when you talk about different layers, does that mean when you get started into a therapy of some kind, you start at the surface levels and you gradually go deeper and deeper into the inner child?
Well, with the therapy that I did, you just go into the different traumas and look at them. And as you come to embrace them, you feel the child just feeling more and more safe, basically. So you're looking at the pain. You're directly facing into the pain.
Okay.
And the child, because the child wants you to look at it. They don't want it to stay hidden. The child looks at it like it's just an experience. Like if you look at little kids, they wake up every morning and they're just ready to rock and roll. And they're not holding on to anything. And we want to be the same way. You just want to be able to Okay, had that experience. Wow, learned a lot. Great. Okay. We don't want to hold on to resentment for other people or resentment for the what happened. Because all it does is create more of it. And you recreate yet another something to be resentful about. It's ridiculous. So the more you just face right into it, and even if the child at the beginning is like looks like it's crying or screaming, then our job is to hold its hand basically and just say it's okay. It's okay. We've been through that, and now we can create this peace inside. And as you create the peace inside, you create it for the planet. As within, so without. Mhm. Okay, well, we've reached, it's 10 to 7. I'm thinking we should just be sending out healing out to the planet for everyone's wounded child to feel at peace. What do you say?
That's great.
Well,
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna need to excuse myself, dear.
Okay, bye, Steve.
Bye, you
well,
guys. See you
well,
Friday.
See you Friday. Mm. Yeah, the reason I kind of went on and on when I saw this channeling, it was on the Golden Age of Gaia. I thought it's so like important, this work, and it's not really addressed. I don't know. I don't think there's much said about the inner child in the Council of Love teachings. And I just thought it's been so beneficial for me. I just thought, you know what, let's do this one so that at least it's been addressed. And it's the way that Jesus says it's part of the Christ consciousness. The essence of the Christ energy is to recognize the face of an innocent child behind all negative and disruptive behavior. So that's like illness, it's war, it's you name it. If it doesn't feel right, then to find the innocent child in behind it all is our challenge to find that innocence because it's there and we want to maintain that innocence. And in a way, it feels like it's a huge part of our ascension. Because if we can create that inner peace for the inner child and feel that on a day-to-day basis, we're there for creating that on the planet.
yeah, I agree. I think that's very important.
Mm, yeah. Okay, so let's send out that peace and love and inner child work out to the planet for 10 minutes. And you can all put yourselves on mute if you want. I'll set the timer and then see everyone in 10 minutes. Okay. There's the 10 minutes. Mhm. Okay. How was that one tonight, Paula?
That was good. Yeah, I was able to actually look at my inner child.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Good work. Okay.
yeah.
And Leanne, how are you doing?
I'm gonna go lie down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not that great tonight, so I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, take care.
Get a good,
Okay,
I
Yeah, good
Bye.
night.
thanks. Good night.
good night. Okay. And Lillian, did you enjoy that sending?
Yeah, I sent love and peace to all the inner childs of the world,
I can see you doing that.
and I added Yofi dust. Sent
Excellent.
Yofi dust to all the inner childs of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yofi dust is very much, so he's magenta, Yofi. So is Jesus. Like they're of the magenta ray. So that's part of the Christ consciousness. Yofi dust would be part of that. The playfulness of the child is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ken, how did you enjoy that one?
My brain kept getting in the way.
Okay.
So I kind of recognized what I wanted to do. It's just that I have to
It feels
work with
like,
it.
yeah. So it feels like that if you can in the next few days just sit still and ask your child, you know, how it's feeling basically. Like pretend it's Amelia. And
Uh,
you chatting to Amelia. Yeah. And then just see how you're feeling, because I feel like now that I know more about this, that most of us operate from the wounded child. We don't even realize it.
Mm.
hmm And so if you can allow that child to feel a place of safety within you, keep him just letting it know it's nice and safe now. There's no, there's no, you know, you can create that environment for it now.
I'll
Yeah.
work on that.
Yeah. I feel like it can make a huge difference. I know I feel completely different from doing
Good.
this. Yeah. There's hope. Mhm. And it's weird because I thought I was doing fine before. I didn't realize that there was quite a bit more to do. Or not, I mean, just to recognize that it's not even do, it's just recognize. Like Jesus said, we don't have to do anything. You already are everything. Already are everything. We're just comforting the child, basically. Yeah. Did you feel comfort for the child, Darren?
Well, yes, I did. I did meet my inner child, and it was a fairly traumatic experience which that child had in this lifetime. And I managed to, put light on it around the child. I've had Yeshua's light with us, around us. And then the darkness just lifted after a while. I picked up the child and held it and cuddled it, and pretty soon I was happy, filled with joy, and ran off to play again. And then after that, I expanded it and took that energy all around the planet and just kept, there's actually, I was amazed. There's lots of people ready to release that energy. And so as I went around, people were releasing that dark energy, and Yeshua's energy was cleaning it all up. And so I went around the planet about 5 times. And after that, there's nothing more at this time anyway. There's probably a lot of people that haven't released it yet, but all the ones that were ready, I think, released that dark energy. And then I took the gold light all around the planet and wrapped the whole planet with gold light then.
Nice, beautiful. Okay, well, there you go. There's the planet is well on its way. Humanity well on its way. Beautiful. Okay. So any other questions or anything? No? Okay. All right, I'll shut down the recording right now and just say thank you to everybody who's watching this in the future. And we'll be back on Friday. And there's just a little bit more of the law to do. And then we'll be finishing up this heart chakra.